up and try again.
Everybody, I decided to do this video because I noticed a couple of you have been asking me a couple of questions to the path. So some of you are having trouble sending me a couple errors like these ones. Yeah, and it's normal. Okay, some of you have been email me telling me that is it normal that I need to know this. So it's not normal. So okay, so one of the things that, or one of the main challenges that we're facing at this point is that since we're not face to face, for us it's a little bit more interesting to identify what kind of computer you have. If we would be in the same lab, everything will be very crystal clear because we have the same computer in the lab and whatnot. But since some of you have a Mac, some of you have Windows 10, Windows, I don't know, you have different flavors. Some of you are playing with Linux. It's a little bit challenging for me to identify what kind of system you have. So I just decided to create this video just to show you a couple of items regarding the terminal that you can see down here in my screen. So some of you are using Code, which is a great tool, to be honest. This is a very nice tool for you to be involved with different aspects of programming, but also to help you understand what this terminal is. So the terminal basically is a way of navigation in based on text, right? So we can just put some commands. We move back and forward depending on the directory we want to play. If you don't want to have this kind of flavor, I gave you another alternative. It's called Dr. Java, and you're welcome to use that one as well. But at this point, as I mentioned, I don't know what kind of software you have. I don't know what kind of virtual machine you have or hardware you have. So that's why I decided to keep very generic. And I've been helping a couple of you during the past days or months, yeah, depending on when you're watching this video. So what I'm going to tell you right now is more about on the path. It's called the path or the class path, about where you can run your programs. So I want you to pay attention. I have a Mac at this point, so you can tell right away because it says MacBook. And I'm going to save my program in the desktop. I've been mentioning in all my videos, I always save it in my desktop because it's easy to find it out right away. So, but you can save it anywhere you want. So my best strategy for me, because we're just learning stuff without going into the details, just save everything into the desktop. It will help you to basically find things right away. Add them, remove them, rename it, you call it, right? So I'm just going to create real quick here a program called public class my first program. Yeah. So I'm going to call this public static void main string args. So this is exactly my first program that you saw previously. So I'm going to put here system.out.println hello. So I'm going to save. I want you to pay attention what I'm doing. I'm gonna save it, and I'm going to save it in my desktop. Notice that here I have desktop, and there's a couple of directories that I have right now. So I'm gonna leave it like that just for you to understand what I'm trying to do. And I'm gonna put here Java, my first program.java. I hope you can see this part that I'm doing right now. So I don't know if you noticed, but I removed the public class. This is the very first thing you have to know. The very first important thing you need to know is the name, my first program, .java is the extension. The extension is very similar to what you know. For example, when you're writing a Word document, you put the .docx. Yeah, when you listen to a song, it's MP3. Those are extensions. When you save it, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna call the name dot and then Java when you want to save it. Okay, save it. So when you save that part, I'm gonna save it in my desktop, as you can see right now here. And of course, you can save it somewhere else, but I just recommend for you just to save it in the desktop. Notice that there is some other places where I can save it. I just want you to recognize that part, that is going to be saved there, that Java. Now, when I click save, notice that here in my program I didn't put the .java here. This is only the name of the file and the class. And I already have it here. It's called my first program, and is, I don't know, you right away the compiler identified, they put some color here just to recognize that aspect. Now I'm going to show you a couple of commands that help you to move towards the terminal that you can see right here. So I just zoom in here real quick. So the very first command is called pwd. We print the working directory. This is when you're gonna print the working directory that you have right now. Here it tells me that you're under users directory, and then it's another directory called theServin, which is me. This is my user that I have right now. So pwd will always tell you where you are located in your system. Now I already told you that sometimes you want to type ls, which means listing, and that will give you all these different things. So notice that ls, it means listing. So here it says, hey, inside of theServin, you have all this good stuff. You have applications, and our applications, parallels, desktop, documents, most of them, they're directories. Yeah, if you want to know the details, oh, there's more stuff here. Okay, so there's more stuff, but the thing seems to be that most of them, they're directories. So if you want to know more details, you can type ls-l. That's to give you more details. So notice that here, everything that starts with D means it's a directory. Now these are not directories because it doesn't start with a D. There's something else, and here there's a file called get pip.py. Yeah, there's also a program here, py. Yeah, those are different things. These are there's a different class called Linux that you can show you all these details, but for now let's not go into the details. You can always clear the screen by typing clear, and that will wipe out everything, so you get a fresh new terminal. So pwd tells you the print working directory, ls will listing whatever you have here. So now let's go back to our program. So I want to compile the program, so I need to move where the directory is located. So I know in pwd I'm located here, and if I listing, I notice that I save it on desktop. As you can tell right away, that desktop is one of the directories that is located under theServin. So what I'm gonna do in my terminal, I'm gonna type cd space desktop. Now cd means change directory. That's what you really need to know about this thing. Sometimes it's I have seen directories here that you don't have under users desktop, which is it's weird. Okay, it's not common to have something here and then the desktop there. Some of you have it installed under OneDrive, or maybe you have another layer. In that way, you will have to go and search for that. Where is your desktop? Okay, so it's a little bit more challenging, but I can help you out later on. But try to move to the desktop. So it's cd desktop, and if I hit enter and I do again pwd, notice that my printing work directory have changed. So now I'm under users /theServin /desktop. Okay, previously we have only users /theServin. So now I'm inside of this directory under theServin. If I type ls there, so now I have other stuff. Yeah, I have notice that I have more items here that are listed, and check this out. Yeah, my first program .java is here. So at this point, when I'm here in this part of the terminal, what I can do my command to compile first, java c The C stands for compiler. And then the name of the program, which is called my first program.java. It's very important you put the .java right there. I'm going to hit enter so you can see. I hit enter. You probably thought nothing happens. I'm going to type ls and you will see that it will appear somewhere here another file called my first program.class. Let me just type this again. There it is. Notice that previously we only have my first program.java. Now we have class. The .class extension, ladies and gentlemen, this part means that you generate what we call a Java code. This will be the executable part for Java. When you run a program, you need to generate the .class file. The .class file, I'm going to open it in a little bit. It's just gibberish. You will not understand what's there. It's just a lot of bytecode. We call it bytecode, but it's a lot of different symbols that only Java recognizes. But the reason why this class was generated was because of the reason of executing this command, java c my first program.java. So it's quite important to understand. It's a sequence of steps. The first step is to create the class file by invoking java c and then my first program.java. The second thing you have to do is to run it. In order to run it, you need to do java without the c, and then the name, my first program, without the .java. Just like that, java space, my first program. Be careful, it has to be, it's uppercase, lowercase. This is called camel case. You're probably gonna see this in a couple of lessons. You need to respect the actual casing that Java supports because Java is case sensitive. So be careful with that. So when I hit that, it will print hello, which is the program that we expect to print. As you can see in line 3 in this program, just hello. Okay, so we just did that in order to execute or compile and then execute the program. I'm gonna clear my screen because I want to show you something else. I'm going to show you a couple more tricks. So now we did pwd, printing work directory, ls for listing, yeah, cd is change directories. Now I'm going to show you how to create a directory on my desktop. I'm going to show you my desktop right now. Here's my desktop. Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 directories and probably something else that is being hidden. As you can see in the terminal, I have other 2 programs, my first program.java, my first program.class. I'm going to show you just for you to understand what I mean with gibberish, right? So I'm going to have to open with, I'm going to pick a application that I have here that might open this. Is called TextMate. Yeah, I'm not going to click here because I don't want to open always with this. Notice the following. This is the gibberish that I was telling you. There's a lot of different symbols here that you don't understand. Probably you not even understand what is this part. These are bytes that is being embedded there. This is what the computer really needs to read. It's called the Java virtual machine. Probably you recognize something here in English or something that it looks familiar, like my first program, println. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that there's a lot of hidden symbols here that represents the bytes. That's why I told you this, the .class file is very important for the Java virtual machine to run and execute your program. For you, you don't really care, but you need to run it in order to make to run your program successfully. And let's go back to my desktop. So now here you can see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folders and 2 files, right? I'm going to show you how to make a directory from the command line, and this is by using mkdir. This stands for make directory, and I'm going to put here something like Java programs. I hit enter, and then I'm going to type ls, and notice that now I have another item here, Java programs. Now let's go back to my desktop. Notice that I create this directory here magically. Not necessarily magically, it's just I know the command is mk directory, right? So now I can move here and actually I can put my stuff there if you want to. Not that I recommend, but if you want to keep an order later on, I just want to drag and drop here my programs in order to keep an order about what you have. I think you will do this later on. And now, let me just clear my screen. I'm going to use pwd to see I'm in the desktop, but I'm going to change directory to Java programs. I'm going to click enter, hit enter, and then I'm going to type again pwd, and notice that I am now located in users, theServin, desktop, Java programs. Okay, so that's the way I did it. CD space and then the directory where you want to move. Okay, professor, that's fine, but let's go back to desktop. How can I change the desktop? Notice that Java programs is now inside of desktop. If you want to go back, you need to use CD and then space 2 dots. Yeah, that will backtrack one level. Notice that I'm now in desktop again. So if you want to move to a directory inside of this directory, you use CD and then what did I say? Java programs. Now you are there. ls, there's nothing there. You can even create another directory called week 1, for example, or make another directory called week 2, make directory week 3, make directory week 4, make directory week 5. So now I'm going to clear my screen. I'm going to use, hey, what is inside of this Java programs? You hit enter, like, oh, we have all these directories here, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. What do you want to do? Well, I wanted to change directory to week 1. Enter. So where am I? pwd. You are under users, theServin, desktop, Java programs, week 1. You see? So here we can even create some other stuff. I can show you how to create a .java file right now. Let's try not to do it. If you don't want to know this part, if you think you're gonna be confused, just close your eyes and just disconnect. Just put mute right away and close your eyes, because I'm gonna show you this. If you want to know, just wide open your eyes. I can show you this greater than can help you create a file, and I can put here my second program .java. And if I hit enter, and if I say, hey, what is here ls? Oh, there's a program called my second program. There's nothing there right inside of this. So let's demonstrate that in my desktop. So hey, here's the Java programs. Let's double click here. Ta-da! There is 5 directories. Let's go to week 1. Oh, there it is. Yeah, my second program.java. Let's open it. When you open, there's nothing here, right? But you can create programs here like public class, my second program. So here I can public static void main string args, and then I can do system.out.println semicolon is like, hey, again, goodbye, something like that. Save it. You need to save it first. So now that I am pwd, where am I? You're under week 1. You can say, hey, what is in week 1? Here, my second program. I'm gonna do Java C, my second program.java. I want you to pay attention what I'm gonna do right now. When I hit enter, oh, by the way, you can open your eyes now at this point. So, and unmute it. So here, when I hit Java C, I'm gonna generate my second program.class. Also here, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm here in my second program, I mean in the directory, is gonna magically appear my second program.class. I just want you to pay attention to what I'm gonna do right now. Check this out. Enter. ls. There it is. Let's go back to our here. Notice here. Now I have 2 programs. It's under week 1, And notice how I did all those programs. I can again run it, Java, my second program without the .java, hit enter, and now I have that silly message, hey, some drama, again, drama, 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 and then goodbye, exclamation mark. So here, I just demonstrate a couple items here that you can see this as your survival kit or your first aid kit for Linux, right? There's a bunch of books and tutorials and whatnot on how to do Linux programming and how to navigate through the entire operating system of Linux. Again, it's not my intention to show you that. It's just a survival skill that you're gonna have to learn in this course, just to make sure your programs work, how to compile it, how to run it, how to move through your directories, and then that will be more than enough to just run your programs effectively. So I hope this helps a little bit. If not, just send me emails and I'll try to demonstrate a different video, a different tutorial for that. Let me just show you one thing, what I just did, so you can recognize what I'm doing. So often you're gonna see this, right? This means that this is the main root of your hard drive, is the C drive, and here you're gonna have a directory called users. You can have your name there, you can have a lot of probably your family members, I don't know. It stores a lot of usernames, and then your name, right? This is called the path. Now inside of that name, you might have a lot of different directories. Let me show you. So here is your C drive, and then inside of your C drive you have all of these directories. You probably have more. Just simplify because I'm not going to list them all. But inside of users you will have username. Yeah, so here under username you can have probably a lot of different things. My music, the music that you purchase legitimately, yeah. So my documents, where you save all your documents, maybe downloads, things that you download from the internet, desktop, maybe more, I don't know. So notice that here we have desktop, where I told you to basically go save your stuff. So that's why you need to do your change directory from, usually you are located under theServin or in the username, and then you have to cd and then desktop. And inside of desktop have, how do we call it, Java programs. Now we have that directory, and inside of Java programs we have a couple of different directories that basically shows you this hierarchy. It's called the hierarchy, and the file hierarchy helps you to navigate through the entire file system that you have. Now I'm using a lot of terminology that you may or may not be familiar with, and that is fine. Don't worry if you're not familiar with that, because these are baby steps, right? And eventually you will know them. Again, you will have to probably read somewhere, or I can suggest a couple links or books about Linux in case you want to do it in your free time. I'm not going to ask you anything like this in the test. These are just your technical skills in order to survive for the next weeks or next months. I don't know how long you're going to keep taking this course, but these are my survival skills that I always show to my students. Do we really need to know them? Eventually you will have to, okay? Sooner or later you will have to be very proficient in moving through the entire operating systems. That's a definitely, because you're a computer scientist. And you will have to know how to navigate, move, pipeline, do a lot of great things, right? So at this point, I just want to show you the very basic commands to print the directory, to listing what is in the directory, and to move into a directory. I just show you something fancier to make a directory and move through that directory and create more stuff, but you don't really have to. My recommendation is just go to the desktop, and then basically put everything there and compiler. Do some cleanup at the end of the week. Put your stuff in your directories. Make a directory like I did for week 1 and week 2 and so on, and put them there, because eventually your entire desktop you won't have any space, like a free space to just put stuff there. That's my recommendation, what I would do. And only because you're gonna have to do things real quick for the next weeks or for the next days, and desktop is the very basic place, or the most user-friendly place to arrive right away. It's the desktop, right? So Anyway, so I think hopefully this helps a little bit. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy coding.